Hi everyone, welcome back to another edition of the Velvet Lounge Life, and I am twirling the world's largest Charmstring around in a circle, as you can see, or spiral. And I was doing this and I was like, why not use this as one of the updates for the project? So here we are. So how long is it? You guys are going to have to guess that. And next week, I will have a final, it is done, you guys. A final update on this project. I have one more length of the Charmstring to add to it, and that is it. It will be over 100 feet long, making it the world's longest, Charmstring. The only thing I haven't done is weight it, as I promised you guys I would do at some point. And I will save all of those facts and figures for you guys for the final update, which will be the week of Christmas. And hopefully we'll have some fun with it. You'll see it installed in its first installation, which is nothing super special, but it's special to me, and I hope it's special to you guys, especially every single one of you that has contributed. As of today, when I went to the post office, we had another person contribute from West Virginia, Ms. Corey. Thank you so much. Even, you guys can still contribute. We can still make this grow even longer than the 100 feet. As I stated before, after all of the restrictions due to health codes are either, I think they'll be lifted, but whatever the new normal will be, we will see what that is. And then this sweet baby monster will be on its tour, first at a library, but of course the library wants to make sure that people are actually, can freely come and go. They don't want me to have it displayed at a time when no one will really see it, which totally makes sense. And then there's a museum that I'm talking to still, who definitely wants to use this as one of their installations. And we'll see where it goes from there. I have several more ideas for it. It's like one of them, and I'm not sure, I would definitely have to get permission from the schools, etc. And I've been asked to speak at schools previously, but on different subject matter, which was honestly a lot more serious. And so I will definitely try to see how to interlink this Charmstring in with talking to children or young folks, if you will, about why this was created, the year 2020, how this one single little implement, a button, brought so many people from across the country and one foreign nation together, and how all of those buttons contributed, were able to be part of this project. Okay, not every single button was part of this project, but obviously a good number of them, plus a large number from my own collection, and bits and bobs, as well as, not only talking about the unity aspect of it and, community and such, but also want to talk to them a bit about, of course, the history of buttons, because we should pass this information on to these young'uns, if you will, these young folks, before any of us are, gone, or, we don't want this to be a area of collecting that just falls to the wayside. Now, I will say, and a lot of you guys know this, I guess I'll start winding this around while I talk to you. A lot of you guys know that as of I don't know. I'm going to say the beginning of this year, it seems as if people went a little bit button crazy. And the reason I say that, you know, to purchase the highly sought, more valuable buttons, it's unaffordable to many collectors now, which is sad. You know, if you want one of those gorgeous porcelain buttons that were hand painted with some beautiful scene on it, yeah, it's going to cost you more dollars and cents than you probably realize. And unfortunately, that's probably scaring off some collectors. Yeah, so all I do when I'm doing this is I start winding it around by walking around in a circle. I used to be able to, of course, sit on the floor and do this, but it's so large that I can't do that anymore. And plus, I am winding this tightly, whereas at one point I could wind it a little bit looser, but it's large. It's like one of those large braided rugs. That's what it reminds me of. And I had someone write to me today, and they want me to put even more information in the final video. And I really thank that person because they had some good points. They didn't have to make any points. I was totally on board with them. But, you know, I want to make sure that she said that we want, you know, it's a good idea because I did all this work to make sure that, you know, it's well documented for prosperity. So thank you to that person and for her suggestions. I appreciate it. And I will be using those suggestions. You guys, this is a monster. It's so huge. And just imagine I'm working on another section of this still that will be attached to this. Oh my God, I'm getting to the end. There. Here it is. So you can get some idea of how large it is. It's huge. It's awesome. I love it. And oh, you guys that donated items with color, oh, you were such lifesavers because it is, and variety. Because when you're working on something like this, the thing that sort of puts a little bit of a stagger on it or a stop is when you're like, oh my God, I'm running out of variety. This is all starting to look like the same color, which is, you know, to me boring. I want, you know, something that has some variety in it. And of course, color, different textures, different materials. So, you know, buttons that were made from everything from shell to mother of pearl, glass, plastics of every single type imaginable, from Bakelite to celluloid to Gatling to everything you can imagine, to regular plastic. There were a lot of, I'm trying to think, what was it? Oh, metals. So silver metals, brasses, gold medals, and for those that sent copper metal, you are awesome, because those little pops of shininess, you know, make this something that, you know, more interesting to look at than if it was all black, all white, all gray, you know, all blue, or, you know, or just some single color, all red. You know, I can see something right now that's shiny, and I can see the shininess of it, like right there. There's my shadow. I can see it. Yay! And yes, I thank you guys so much for that. And for those that sent bits and bobs, that also makes it incredibly interesting to look at, to touch. My daughter did an inspection of it, if you will, and she was like, "Oh, look at that little thing. Look at this little thing. And is that a little angel?" And oh, she said that was one of the most fun parts for her, looking at it. And then I had someone else look at it, and that person, who is a male, actually enjoyed looking at the metal buttons. So there, when you this is something that really has something for every person, everyone. And it's safe as far as, little kids can touch it because I wired it versus putting it on a string, which could, or, thread, which obviously could snap and break easily. And over time it would, because this, I don't know, like I keep saying, I don't know what the weight is, but this is heavy. It has such heft to it. And like I said to you guys before, yes, in the statistics, one of the items will be the weight. Now, something I did say at the very beginning of the project is that I was going to count how many bits, how many bobs, and count separately how many buttons. After getting to 1,000 something, I stopped counting because there are thousands of items that make this entire thing up. And like I said, I sort of, even beyond the 100 feet plus, I sort of wanted to grow even more. I don't know why. I have this calling to it, and I'm going to, when I do the installation of it, the initial one, every person that has contributed, like I promised before, and you saw in one of the previous update videos, will have their name tag added to the project. Right now, the tags are getting sized up because I decided to make them, size them up a little bit better than what they were in the other video, just because I don't want to take away from this, but I want to make sure that those tags stand out a little bit more. And of course, I have a few more to add, meaning a few more name tags to add from those that contributed. And make sure that you look at the comments area and the description area of all of the videos, especially these last few videos for this project, so that you can see your name down there in those two areas if you contributed, because there's way too many for me to put on a screen. And I know some people know how to do that editing where you can put names and have it scroll. Well, once I receive or get up to that 1,000 plus subscribers, I will be able to do fancy things like that. But for now, we are doing what we can do. And I also sent out personal handwritten cards of thanks and holiday greetings in some cases to those that actually contributed as well. So thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. And so something I'm going to discuss right now, which I also promised from the previous video, is what will I do with some of the buttons that are left from the project that I'm pretty sure I will never use for any project. So there are maybe, I'm going to say, 15 pounds of buttons that are like that. And what I'm going to do with those are a few things. One, if there's anything I could use for a future project, obviously we'll use them. The other thing is there's a museum that is collecting buttons. It's a Holocaust museum. And one of our contributors to this project told me about it. And I promised her that whatever buttons I didn't use that she contributed and won't be using, I will donate them to that museum. So I decided the other buttons that I personally have, as well as those that were contributed to the project that are not going to be used for this or any other project in the future, or for educational purposes, I am donating to that organization. So that I thought was super beautiful and such a touching thing, and I want to thank her. And I think she's the one who said that some of the buttons she donated used to be her grandmother's. Thank you so much. And I tried to contact her about adding her grandmother's name to one of the tags on the project, or at least putting it on the same tag as hers. If you hear this, you know who you are. I sent you an email. I think I contacted you as well through Facebook. That part I'm not sure about, but please get back to me and let me know so that before I do this final video, which is going to be coming the week of Christmas, I can make sure to include her as a beautiful tribute and thank you. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I'll take you in a little bit closer so that you can sort of get a good look. Actually, can I don't know if I can zoom. Oh, I can zoom. Look at me. So you guys can really get a look at what has been accomplished. And as I stated, there's one more section to be added to this. So it is almost finished. And it is unbelievable. And I actually had this upstairs on our second floor, and someone saw it and they were like, oh my God, that is beautiful. What is this? She's like, isn't that similar to, and she was just like, without words, she could barely finish her sentences. And I said, yes, the only difference is this one is really, really large, whereas the others are obviously more realistic in scale. And also, one of the things I did with my own personal family charm strings is we actually put them on our Christmas tree every year. So that becomes our garland, which is how I sort of had the idea of creating this one. So let's do one more round. And hopefully you're not getting vertigo from looking at this. It was really hard to fit this whole thing in to the screen of the camera. But thank you guys for tuning in. Remember that your health is your wealth, and without your health, you have absolutely nothing. So please take care of yourselves. Remember to subscribe to the channel and give us a thumbs up. We can't do this without those subscriptions and without you guys participating. Leave a comment below, even if it's a heart or a flower or a snowman or a Christmas tree, a menorah, whatever it is, you know, anything. I would greatly appreciate it because that shows participation. And yes, we have lots of other videos that are also equally as fun as the button videos. And after the holiday, I will have another button video covering one of the types of buttons out there that you should be, you know, I have people who are like, what kind of button is this? So it really is just giving you like button identifications that you should be aware of. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Take care, be safe, be well, and stay well.